Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Feeling a little bit delicate today. Was at a cousin's birthday party last night and had a few drinks, and yeah, feeling it today. So I'll give you a bit of an update of what I've been up to. This video is basically going to be reassembling a gearbox, mainly sticking the parts back together again, and maybe welding up the PPF to try and make it a little bit stronger. So as you can see it, the turbo is all installed, and I've modified some piping and stuff like that to make everything fit. Everything's in there nice and snug. I've got the gearbox out and I've got the PPF frame apart. You may have seen in that other sort of vid I done on my Instagram story. I also put it on YouTube as well so you guys could see. But it's basically this section here is from an RX-8 5-speed, the tail housing is from an FD RX-7, and the bell housing actually from an RX-8 as well. We'll be sticking that all together tonight and bolting it all back together again, because I'll be sticking that back in the car. And yeah, this is all cracked, so we're probably going to maybe try plate some up, and we'll be trying to weld it as well to see if we can make it a little bit more solid. Hell of a mess on the floor. That's just kitty litter actually. It's like £1.50 for a bag, and it's good at soaking up oil. And yeah, look at the state of this. I've been out and about. I've got myself a new trailer the day. You would have maybe seen it on my Instagram post, but it's an absolute beast. So I've been adjusting brakes and stuff like that today, and I've made a hell of a mess on the bench. So first things first, I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then we'll probably get the gearbox onto the bench. Right guys, so I've got the bell housing on here. Box is still down there, but I noticed there was a bit of a rip on this seal here. So what I'm going to do is I've got another RX-7 gearbox that I fucked up a couple of years ago over there, and I'm going to pull that bell housing off and steal the seal, because the seal's actually exactly the same. Rightio, so yeah, this is this bell housing. You can see there's sludge, and there's actually bits of metal and stuff like that in this one, because I'm pretty sure I melted this box quite hard as well. So the seal here, it basically punches from the inside out. I just use a flat blade screwdriver into a corner like that, give it a chap, and she'll knock out neighbour. So as you can see, it says BH3520E, and it's NO, is it NOK? That's the make of that seal. So if you were to replace with a different seal, you could search that part, but I just stick some petrol in a tin, stuck it in, and then gave it a wee bit of an air blow dry to clean up. Reusing the seal, and some gearbox specialists will be out there I think saying it's the wrong thing to do, you're going to hell for that, but I'm already going to hell putting a K20 in a fucking RX-7, so can't get much deeper, eh? So anyway, we're going to fire this beast in here, and once that's sat in there, I'll use my modified piece here. In hindsight, I shouldn't have cut this up, but it was one of them nights, so keep that whole if you're doing the same thing. Rightio, so we have the box on the table now. I've cleaned up this mating surface here, because that's about to be bolted on, and yeah, I'll just shove it on and then do all the bolts up. I'll put some sealant on as well. I've got some Honda Bond, well, it's Durco sealant, but it's the same thing as Honda Bond, and I'll stick that all on and torque it up to like the moon or something like that. I'm not actually sure, probably just tight, yeah. Oh yeah, reload, reload, reload. Right guys, both sections are all cleaned. I actually found down the bottom of this tube here, there's a main shaft sort of bush. It was clogged full of silicone, and that's probably been like that from factory, so obviously that's not very good, but I cleared it out anyway. And I've cleaned these faces as well. Note the RX-7 VSS drive on the RX-8 gearbox, and some other modifications. Now should be able to just stick this box on. I'll put some sealant around here, same sort of stuff, Durco, and put it on. When you put this box on, try have the stick in neutral position, and then have these pins here, all three of these, as obviously your selectors, have these all in line, just like this. So when you put the shaft on with this notch here, come on, focus, this notch here, you basically put it on, and then it's on squint, you turn it round straight, and that piece then locks in here, and then that way that gives you your gear selection. So yeah, let's get the Durco on this and torque this up as well. These are like different size bolts and stuff, and I have no idea which way they go, but generally when you put them in a hole, if they stick out around about 10 mil or so, that's generally the right bolt for the right hole. Right bolt for the right hole? Right bolt for the right hole. Right, that's our sort of on there. You can see, so this one here, this bolt on the bottom, that's actually like a really short one. Let me see, here's a spare. So it's like that size. The rest of them are all actually about the same length, apart from this one. And when you're looking at the box, this one actually goes to the top end. And you can see, you know, it sticks out that much. If you try to put a different one in that slot, it just bottoms out, So that's the only one. It's the long end there, and the rest of them is just sort of the same length, and they all sort of stick out the same amount of distance. And yeah, so I'll fire them on, probably tighten them right up. Again, I don't really have a torque setting, just tight as fuck. And onto this top cover here. Yeah! Let's get this stuck down. And sorted. Look at that. So, it's all back together again, all semi-torqued, and pretty much chuck this thing straight back in the car again. I'll probably leave this gadget off just now, but this is more, I suppose I could show you the shifting, so literally so smooth, like unreal. I've never had an RX-7 that shifted that easy, but I did actually find out that the RX-8 5-speed actually uses the 99 spec to 2002 spec FD gearbox. So this has like upgraded synchros in it, like I think it's 4th gear upgraded synchros. So which is nice, like it's a nice addition. So, and everything feels good and nice and tight. So that'll get chucked in the car. Will I do it tonight? Probably not. I'm on my own, and if you guys remember when I was putting the gearbox in myself last time, when I was at the Scottish car show, it was an absolute nightmare to do myself. I had like the jack sort of balancing and screwdrivers and stuff, trying to balance the gearbox up, but in fact, I could maybe try a strap. I think I've got like a spare strap somewhere, so I can maybe try strapping the gearbox to the jack, which will stop it rocking around, and that might give me a little bit more play to get it in place. So, oh, that's Moro Picotto coming on the radio now. That's one thing I'm not too keen on YouTube about. Like, I have blast tunes in this garage, I love it. But, you know, I don't like the thought that you could get copyrighted at any point. That kind of annoys me. But anyway, guys. Right, so the next problem is obviously the cracking of the frame. There's a couple of different places. I'm going to try and bend it, sort of get it in place. Probably take off the sealer and sort of stitch weld along here as well. They are designed to flex, but I'm not really having much luck with them, so I'm just probably going to plate it up as much as I can just now, and try and maybe make a couple of gussets or something like that there, just to try and help things along, and maybe even plate it with some extra bits of steel. But I've not got much hope for it. I don't think it's going to last, but that's my last ditch attempt to try and keep stock PPF frame with a K20 swap. So yeah, as you guys see there, that's like a spot weld. It's welded in sort of 2 plates across. It's sort of like, it's double skinned, that's what it is. Like I say, designed to flex, and oh yeah, fucker. I'm going to take off that sort of seam sealer right along. I'll weld this up, bend it straight, and yeah, I think we'll go from there. MIG or TIG? TIG is probably stronger. MIG's more forgiving. MIG's quicker, and the TIG can play up and isn't very good with dirty surfaces, so I might just MIG it actually. Thought my head was getting a bit hot, but that tin of petrol I used earlier selling fine. Yeah, so just sort of giving it a good seam weld. It's all pretty much going toasty. The welder seems to have sort of gotten a bit overheated. I don't think it was actually the welder itself, it was more the roller that feeds out the cable, so, or the wire I should say, seems to have stopped. So basically, you finish this bit here, a few more tacks, sort of doing an inch and then leaving an inch, and then I need to finish this off. Yeah, I think the next thing to go for will be my diff, but you know, we'll give this a shot. We've got to find these weaknesses. I'm glad it's not the engine, it's the weakness, you know what I mean? So that's always a positive. Yeah guys, this welder seems to have packed in just now. I'll probably have to get a new motor or something like that for the feed. So, not to worry though. I am going to try something different though. Yeah. Some of you guys that are sort of close to me will know I lost my granddad last week, or it was the week before I think it was. And yeah, it was a very sad event. He was a very, very honourable man to us. He was a big thing in our family. So unfortunately he passed away. And I've sort of been given some of his stuff. And one of the things I was given from him was his welding rods. So it was stick welding rods. And yeah, he was one of the guys that showed me how to weld, and he showed me all sorts of skills. It's like I get quite emotional sometimes in the garage because I always see and sort of feel him and hear him in the back of my head tell me I should do things a different way. And a lot of my creativity comes from my granddad. So yeah, rest in peace, granddad. But anyway, he gave me some sticks. So this is sort of old school stick welding. This TIG welder can actually be set up for stick. I think you need to do positive electrode and negative clamp. I'm going to stick that on, and we're going to give these sticks a wee shot. Yeah, I think it would be nice. Give them a shot. I'm sure he's got my back on this one. So this will them in here. Tell you what, this stick welding actually does a decent job. I've probably done a better job with the stick than I have with the MIG. So yeah, a lot of the stuff it needs to chip off, but I'll not be arsed about that just yet. I'm going to start working on this crack. Woo-wee! Tell you what, it's getting smoky in here. This stick reek. We'll have some reek like. So yeah, that stick is working a treat. I've flipped it over now, I've cleaned the top, and I'll go to give that some welding as well. Just to kind of give overall strength. And well, I want to be fitting it back on right, I don't think. The gearbox needs to go in first, and it's a kind of a two-man job, so I'll probably wait for one of my mates to come over to help me with that one. Woo-wee! Yeah, so all welded up now. Looking good. And cheers, Granda, for the helping hand. He'll probably be up there somewhere ripping the piss out my welds, I'm sure of it. But yeah, so now I'm happy with that. I'm not going to do any more with it. It's going to be strong enough as it is. Hopefully it doesn't like completely snap in half now. It's maybe too strong. Oh, reeky. So reeky, it's no good for the lungs. Need to open up the doors, try and get some ventilation in here, clear the reek a wee bit, and I might have a look at the jack, putting the gearbox on. Let's move this nicely. Hope you guys can still see. If not, it'll still be funny for me to show you what the fuck's going on here. So, basically, I don't know how heavy the gearboxes are, but they're pretty heavy. But you get it in a heat lock, and then yeah, pull up, get underneath the bitch. That's it. Right, and yeah, get a good push up. You need your legs as well. Get them all. That's run. Holy shit, man. Ever seen it being done like that before? Tell you what. It's not a light box, to be honest. It's not lighting, but it's doable with a wee bit of brute force and ignorance. You just gotta get it on your chest and bench press it up in there. I just need to put my bolties on and attach the power plant frame and stuff, and that should be her. Right guys, everything was going well. Gearbox is on. And down here I've got my clutch sleeve. Let's see if we can zoom in down there. So she's bolted onto the actual bell housing itself, and I was tightening up and heard a crack. I thought I'd grab the camera because I think, yep, my worst fears. The casting's actually snapped off the bell housing. I'm going to tighten that fucking thing up. How am I going to do this? May have to take the gearbox back off, and maybe have to weld something onto the bell housing. That's a pain in the dick, but at least I know I can lift it on and off myself. Should I do this tonight? I can't really be arsed now. Lost a bit of enthusiasm, but I'll give it 5 minutes, see if I calm down a little bit. Yeah, go on then. Let's do it. Let's put the box back on the floor again. Because I've jacked the car so high, the jack doesn't actually reach up, and I'm fairly confident that I could probably do it myself, so let's give it another shot. Oh Jesus, going stiff now. There we go. There's the sleeve, and here's the box. Right, get this thing down. She's heavy. So this is where it sits, this piece here. She's snapped off. So do I weld it back on? I could probably. Will I try and make something else? Yep, most likely. Right, so I got the old TIG welder out. So it's rough, but to be honest, it is cast, and cast gearbox is full of oil. It's a bit hellish. So yeah, basically I'm going to make a mounting bracket. Probably just double up the thickness of this stuff here, and drill and tap it, and that way it'll be supported with 2 holes, and we should be laughing. Right, yo, that's what we've ended up with. So all looks nice and straight, so we'll stick it on the car, and we'll see what like. And there we have it, gearbox is back in the car, and the new clutch slave system is now in place. So it looks no bad. What I'll probably do is I'll probably loosen off the bolts, just 2 6mm. I'll pipe it up, and we'll press it, and then we'll let it settle to the position it wants to be in, and we'll tighten the bolts back up again. Anyway guys, mentally challenging putting that box in and out twice, but yeah, sometimes that's just the way things go. You need to have the drive, enthusiasm just to fucking go for it. Get what I'm saying? That'll do it for this video guys. Nothing too exciting other than bench pressing a bloody gearbox into the car, but next stage is going to be downpipe. I'll fit the PPF frame in the diff and that later on, that's no problem. But yeah, make another downpipe for it, and a screamer pipe, and take it out, do some mapping, and see how it performs compared to the other one. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. It's 2 in the morning, I'm shattered, and we'll catch you in the next vid. Cheers guys. Performs.